Ladies and gentlemen, we're back. Callum Ewan, GameEngineStart. You know what it is. It's day 3.
You know what it is.
It's day 3.
Well,
talking about day 2 press conference in Bethesda,
which is actually day 0.
Which is actually, I think, day 0. I think today's when the show floor opens.
Yeah.
But yeah, Bethesda happened last night, very late.
Yeah. So this is the following morning, hence coffee and looking dishevelled. Yeah.
It was a good conference though.
It was decent. Like when we went into it, they had.
There was a lot of unexpected little surprises.
Yeah, like it definitely felt like there was a for most.
Because everybody was like, "Oh yeah, there's going to be Fallout."
For most of their games, they had a thing that you kind of saw coming, and then there was always something else.
There's another thing. Yeah.
So I mean, if you want to talk about things that you were expecting, Rage 2, they led with that.
Yeah, led with an Andrew WK concert of all things.
Fucking. It was so weird. Like, I'm not.
It was the start of that press conference really didn't help because it made me go, "Oh no, what are they doing?" Because it was a full Andrew WK song for a good 3 minutes.
He did the song he's done for that game.
Yeah, he performed the song he wrote for Rage, but it's Andrew WK.
Yeah,
on stage doing his crazy piano business with a full band.
Like, stop doing musical performances for captive audiences.
I know.
Like, just stop
no one likes
doing it.
And then it was then followed up by.
Can I just say also like my notes for the entire start before they even announced the game were Andrew WK, all caps, awkward interactions. Because remember the two people that were talking. Like,
that's what I was gonna say. Is the point after that is they brought out someone from Arcane. I was gonna say Arcane. Someone from Avalanche and someone from
Tim Willits from from Ed.
Yeah, from Ed. Very small man, very tall Scandinavian man, and they had like awkward banter backwards and forwards, and then I don't know if the auto cue died or something happened, but they stayed silent for a long time.
They cracked a joke
as if they were like, "Nah, you fuckers need to laugh at this joke that I just made."
They cracked a joke about like the fact that Tim Willis was quite a small man, and this Avalanche dude was a very, very tall gentleman, and like. The joke was that he was short, and they just kind of kept looking for applause.
There were camera cuts, and they were throwing their hands up in the air as if, "No, this is a great joke, laugh at it," and no one was. But I don't know if it was because something died or not. It was really awkward.
It was very strange. I'll also say, like, before we get to the game, they handled the Walmart Canada fiasco really well. Yeah. Like, I can never remember the guy's name, the Bethesda guy, the guy that runs the
Pete Hines.
He just came out and was like something along the lines of like the first game we want to announce is thanks to our partners at Walmart Canada.
Courtesy of our friends at Walmart Canada,
known for their low prices and ability to keep secrets. Yeah. Like it was pretty decent.
It was well handled. And he said it while staring down the camera, which was pretty great. Yeah. And then the gameplay demo happened, and that was kind of just as awkward as the Andrew WK concert.
Yeah, I didn't. So like
because it was like they showed the game and they talked about how like you're the last ranger of the wasteland. Is that what you're calling yourself? Walker.
Walker's your character's name. Yeah.
Someone who's apparently like grown up on this new meteor after meteor to Earth wasteland.
It's always good to see as well, like an apocalypse that was not caused by like global warming or
this
nuclear.
Is just straight meteor.
This is like meteor hit. Okay.
And they showed a mission where you had to go and get a bunch of nanites or something from a satellite that you pulled from orbit, and it looked like Doom, which was good.
Like,
there's a lot of like fast running around shooting people.
In terms of actual gameplay, it looked like Doom.
Like with like crazy gadgets and stuff. There was like some grenade that pulled people, knocked people up into the air, and they still had the wing stick and stuff. And Rage appears to be like a thing that guy does.
It's like the Rage was
like the character. He does his little Super Saiyan move, and the color saturation goes all crazy, and then he can, I guess, do a bunch of damage. And
it felt like the Berserk
power. But they jumped midway through gameplay demo into a weird advert,
like an infomercial.
I couldn't tell because at the very end it looked like it was for like a super limited edition version of Rage 2.
Yeah,
but it was like an in-world ad for like a singing Billy Bass, except it was a weird mutant head,
one of their creatures.
The thing they cut back to just more violent gameplay, and I was like, so Wolfenstein worked in this kind of like dissonance of tone, and it jumped between them very well. This did not.
No,
this was hard cut, and just felt completely out of it.
I mean, it's been interesting to see which direction they go with it, even in the build up, because that original trailer or the
Andrew WK trailer,
the live action Andrew WK trailer was like, this is just Mad Max batshit insane.
Wacky,
And then the next trailer was like, no, there's a story here and there's a world, and you're like, okay, which one of these things are you going for?
And it seems like they still haven't quite decided.
And then this trailer still had all three of those things.
Yeah.
Like,
you said it felt like 3 different games.
It felt like 3 different games.
Which is like...
Because they had like the Doom... Like hard, I was supposed to say hard action.
Hard
Devil
action.
May Cry.
No, it's Devil May Cry.
The kind of Doom style gameplay.
Yeah.
Then intercut with this weird comedy thing.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, there's like, oh no, but this is also a big open world with
driving thing
with this big epic story and like world changing it, and it was just very
like I'm interested to see more of it, but I think that if they don't sure up their tone and decide on like a direction, it's gonna end up just kind of not all working.
Yeah. So the terms they did say was seamless open world. So it just seemed like that, and it also the phrase they said was, if you can see it, you can drive it, which is a nice spin on the old Skyrim. Hey, there's a mountain, you can climb it.
Yeah. If it has wheels,
totally.
then you can drive it.
But actually, they didn't show that much about what that thing is. Like, it looks
they
like
showed a mission.
Yeah.
And that was it.
So that's spring 2019 for that. Elder Scrolls Legends.
Yeah, card game
That's continuing apparently to make the money.
It's a decent card game.
Sure.
Like, it's got some cool ideas.
So they said they're relaunching, or they're launching a whole bunch of new visuals.
Yeah, overhauling their
visual thing.
And then putting it on Switch.
And putting it on Switch and consoles.
Yep.
So
fair enough.
Sure.
Good for them.
So Elder Scrolls Online.
Yep.
11 million accounts. 1 million of them came in last year.
Sure.
So.
Well, I mean, that was when the Morrowind thing got announced.
Right.
So a lot of people
jumped on for that.
For Morrowind.
And then
the same thing happened when they did the Dark Brotherhood stuff. So everybody went, ooh, and tried
Dark Brotherhood. Werewolves.
Yep.
Going to be a part of the expansion thing.
Yep.
And then Black Marsh.
Yes.
Is a word I wrote down.
Black Marsh is the Argonian area.
Right, that's what
all
they
the lizard
like,
people.
They said they were going to go into like Argonian lore.
Yeah. So it's just a thing that hasn't been talked about a lot.
Right.
I don't think.
Just in any of the Elder Scrolls
I don't think
games,
so.
really?
You might have gotten a Black Marsh in one of like the original PC things that no one's played. But yeah, that's a cool idea.
Yeah, totally.
Again, every time I see it, I'm like, I should try that again. Now that it's fixed.
I mean, it's interesting. We talked about this in the Microsoft video, but like, if ESO is coming to Game Pass, like, what does that mean? Does that mean you get?
Well, so yeah, it's like you buy the box and then you can play it as much as you want, but then you can also subscribe to it to get their premium currency.
But in terms of expansions,
you have to pay for expansions as well. So I think if you get a subscription, you get the expansions as well.
Right.
So I don't know how that would operate.
Okay.
But the Game Pass thing is essentially like you don't have to buy the box. There you
Makes
go.
Sense.
But
Doom Eternal.
Yeah. Doom 2.
Not Doom 2, even though that for sure looked like hell on earth.
Yeah, there was like big spires and stuff like that could have been like skyscrapers.
Yeah. I need to watch that trailer again. One, because there's new Mick Gordon music in it.
Well, you say it was new, but it was like a lot of the panning, the
like they were playing on that Doom 2.
Definitely Doom. And then people went out on stage and said, "Yeah, there's more monsters. The guy's even more powerful."
Yeah.
And everybody went, "Woo!"
And they're going to show more at QuakeCon.
Yeah.
Was the thing.
Awesome. Cool. I don't know how you make the Slayer feel more powerful, because you felt pretty fucking powerful in Doom.
Yep.
But unless you're just killing everything with your fists.
Yeah. Also, I don't know if I don't know how you were, but it felt more the visuals they had on there were much more insectile. Like it felt more like there were a lot of things crawling along the ground.
Oh, sure.
Like it felt less like a
there was weird tentacles and stuff. Yeah.
Like it felt like the whole planet has been taken over by like biomass style.
Well, need to see what Satan Robot's up to.
Yeah.
With his weird lightsaber.
Quick Champions.
Yeah.
They are doing this weekend or this week.
Yep.
Sorry, a trial of their free-to-play game.
Is that thing still in early access?
Yes.
Okay.
So
there's a trial of their free early access game.
Yes, that you can then keep.
But if you trial it, then you're in. You can just keep it.
You keep the access. Yeah. I don't know if you're interested in Quick Champions, go look at that thing. I don't understand what they're doing, but go do it. And then we got a bunch of Prey, and this was really cool. Like there was a lot of rumors going in that, or not even rumors. Like
they were working on something. They showed footage of something on the moon.
On the moon in the Prey world.
Yeah.
So they showed a couple of things. So they're adding New Game Plus and Survival Mode to that game,
and whatever story
free.
mode is.
Story mode is just the original game. It looks like.
But is it? No, because they made a point of saying it. So is it like the original game but easier?
The way they said it was
so
like
you can see the story?
When you start the game after this update, you will get story mode, New Game Plus. That's how I read it anyway.
Sure. Okay.
So story mode is the original thing, and New Game Plus and then a survival thing, which is just like I don't know what it is. Like I'm literally installing the update as we speak, so I'll need to have a look and see what that is.
I would assume it would be like limited resources style thing, but
like a stuff really hard mode.
Yeah.
And then Moon Crash, which was the DLC they've talked about, but it was not what I expected, in kind of a good way and a bad way. So it seems like it's an infinitely replayable roguelike style thing set on the moon. Yeah,
it's like procedural moon experimental like simulation thing.
Yeah.
The trailer was weird because they were talking about it kept going into like resetting simulations, but they were also playing You Spin Me Round.
The
weird music choice
was bizarre.
But it was a weird thing.
So I mean, like I said, we're going to boot it up and do something with it while we're here, because I'm fascinated to see what that thing is. But like an infinitely replayable chunk of content for that game could be interesting. Like if they just set up some.
I kind of want a more a narrative thing.
Me too.
But
me too. There might be narrative in this.
That doesn't mean that there isn't any narrative in the Moon Crash. Like, Moon Crash, is that what it's called?
Moon Crash.
Like,
why are we on the moon at all?
Yeah.
Like, do we have a base on the moon? Is this still like
the TranStar have done things on the moon?
Like,
if they're on the moon, why are there Typhon there? Yeah. Like that's.
And it's out now. It's $12.99. I just bought it. Yeah. So yeah. And then they also talked about Typhon Hunter, which I think is coming later, which is a 1v5 multiplayer thing where
pre-op hunt.
Pre-op.
It's prop hunt, but
it's prop hunt.
You versus 5 mimics that are controlled by people.
1 human versus 5 mimics who are also controlled by human beings who can disguise themselves and do that thing. That sounds great.
That sounds like it would be fun.
That sounds like it could be great. And then Wolfenstein, not a thing we expected to hear about Wolfenstein.
New Wolfenstein like spin-off thing.
Yeah, so it's Wolfenstein Youngblood.
Yeah. It's
set in 1980s Paris, and it's BJ's twin daughters.
Yep.
And it's co-op, designed to be co-op.
Yeah.
You said before that this looked like a game designed exclusively for us.
The trailer was like, it's typical fare of like cutting backwards and forwards between stuff, but there was a shot of them like panning round each of the twins, and one of them looked like it was holding a big long rifle, and the other one was just like shadow boxing the air. There was like that's sniper rifles and
that's how
punch
we play
lady.
Video games. Is I play sniper and you run and punch people.
Yeah,
that's
how it works. So that should be a fun one.
Yep, that's 2019. And then they talked about more VR stuff that they're doing. So obviously they've done Skyrim Fallout VR.
Yeah,
they did a Doom thing.
VFR.
So their new VR stuff. The Typhon Hunter Prey thing is going to be in VR, only as the human being. So if you're human, you can play in
VR. Fuck that. Don't do that.
Also, fuck that.
Yeah, don't
but
do
also,
that.
I kind of want to try it once. And
you
then
want a mimic jumping at your face.
Yeah, kind of. And then they also did they talked about like a puzzle, like Portal style test chamber.
Like test rooms for Prey, which I don't know if that's kind of going to be like the very start.
That's why I assume like they're going to do like a testing thing where they're testing your Typhon powers. Testing
to see if you've integrated the Typhon powers correctly.
They didn't even give a name to that thing. Like it was just like
spoilers for Prey.
This is
that's what that was,
and that's later.
Yeah.
And they're also talking about a thing called Wolfenstein Cyberpilot, which is you hack into Nazi robots.
I'm assuming those big Sentinel things that you
must be
fight.
Yeah. So you're a hacker hacking into Nazi robots.
They explicitly said fuck Nazis a lot.
They explicitly said fuck. The phrase they used, what that Pete Hines says was, "We want to bring the message of fuck Nazis to as many platforms as possible."
Yeah, good on you, Pete.
Also, Wolfenstein's coming to Switch.
Yeah,
was the other thing, which I think they'd announced already, but I can't remember.
It didn't seem like a surprise, so maybe they did.
No.
Yeah.
And then they got to the stuff people were there for. I mean, I was there for
Fallout.
everything else, but yes. Fallout 76.
Fallout 76, yeah.
14th November, it's this year.
Yeah.
It is
brave.
This year. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, for reasons we're about to explain. So, in terms of tech, it's they said it's a new rendering and lighting engine.
Yep.
Which is good. Like those original trailers looked better than I remember Fallout 4 looking, and that's why.
Yeah, because Fallout 4 was not great.
It visually not great. So the big reveal was that this thing is entirely online.
Yes.
It is a entirely open, like, persistent world multiplayer.
Well, no, they said
it. They didn't talk about persistent world.
It's not persistent world because they said like griefing and stuff is weird because you keep everything and you just jump between like instanced areas of like you and a couple of dozen other people.
They said you'll never see a server.
Yeah.
You'll never know about a server.
Yeah.
Like you'll just do
But he did say that you would only ever be there with like a couple of dozen people.
Yeah. So I mean,
he said it's the apocalypse, not an amusement park, so there's not going to be many.
So like all the footage they had was like a 4-person co-op team. It seemed like, You can play it solo. I will say that like it's very like once you've seen enough of these things, you get very peculiar about wording.
Yeah.
And the wording on that thing was you can play the whole thing solo. They did not say you can play it offline.
Yeah.
Which is different. And it's a really interesting thing, especially for a game like games like Fallout and Skyrim that are very, very like 100% solo focused.
Yeah.
And especially
it would be you would get a lot of pushback if you came out with a new Fallout game.
Something like the Switch.
Yeah.
Like if you need a persistent online connection for that thing.
Yeah.
Strange.
It would be weird to then have a Fallout game that people can't just... Why is my Fallout online now?
Right.
Because if you don't know, but...
So they refer to it as... So there was some... They directly mentioned, like... Because Todd Howard was out there and he was like, yeah...
He was out there for a long time and he's very good.
Todd Howard is a fantastic presenter.
Yeah.
He really is.
He's excellent.
And he came out and said... People have been wondering what this game is... And people, they obviously know, people have said it's a survival game, but what type of survival? They refer to it as a softcore survival game, as opposed to a hardcore survival game.
So that would be like, I think he's basically implying it's a Fallout game, but with building elements.
Yes, but he also explicitly said you don't lose progression, which is the big part of survival games.
Well, unless they nuke you out of oblivion,
well,
I guess.
Yeah. So that was the other big thing that felt a lot like a mistake to me.
Yeah, I don't see that how this works,
but they're probably going to find a way where... So when you come out, the world, the landmass that they have a bunch of nuclear sites.
Yep.
In the world.
Yep.
That felt a lot like the way they described it as like a raid, where like
they did not make it seem like an easy thing. Everybody that was there was in power armor, had big weapons. Yeah. Like it was.
It seems like you need to
like
prep
a big
for
deal.
that kind of thing. And then you can get in there, and if you get a launch code, piece together a launch code from various parts, you can just drop a nuke anywhere on the map.
Yeah.
Which seems weird. And actually, like, now that we're talking about it, if your progress is not tied to a server or a particular landmass or anything, like, how do you know where other people are going to be if you log out and log back in?
Yeah,
like,
I don't... It's a weird thing. I just don't trust anything that lets people ruin other people's shit continuously.
And especially, like, if you have to be super high level to even get near that thing, like... Of course, people are going to do it at high levels. And the other thing they said was, like, when you drop the nuke on a place, like, the place itself changes.
Yeah, there's, like, unique resources. And
you get new resources and creatures and that kind of stuff.
That'll be where the death claws come out. And
they also said dedicated servers, which is a really... That's cool.
Yeah.
Like, if you can just spin up your own server for, like, you and your friends and keep that thing persistent.
Yeah, that would be cool.
That's kind of awesome. The other thing that I think we talked about while we were watching it was, like, if this is a multiplayer, because you said because I didn't play any 4.
Yeah,
you said the shooting in this thing was much better than it used.
4 was better. Yeah, they had like aim down sights and like guns actually felt good, like as opposed to you were just like lightly stroking them from a distance. It actually felt like it had impact. So it might actually be okay.
But since it's multiplayer and online, you can't use VATS, I assume.
We don't know that, but they could think of a creative way of using VATS, but I don't know what that would be. But
yeah. But yeah,
unless it's just like a group,
but if they
group wide resource that's like someone says I'm going to use this and it happens,
and then if they don't have VATS, then it means that they probably have to like tighten up their shooting to make it a little bit better if you can't rely on VATS. And then they talked about their special edition, which is, they said something which is the glow in the dark map, some figures, like little...
It's not a glow in the dark map, it's a map and it glows in the fucking dark.
It glows in the fucking
is
dark.
What Todd Howard said.
Yes.
He seemed very excited about the idea.
Only time I've seen Todd Howard swear I think so far. And a wearable power armor helmet.
Yep, T51 armor.
Like a headlamp and a voice modulator.
Yep.
And there was something else. And I can't remember.
It said wearable on it.
It said wearable, you're right.
Which is cool. I like that idea.
Sure, like people are going to buy this shit.
If they convince me that this thing isn't going to be like horribly broken, I would consider getting that just for power armor helmet.
So they said there's a beta coming that you can sign up for.
Yep.
And that game's out in November.
Yeah.
That's not a lot of time.
5 months
for them to get to test their server infrastructure
for an open world online thing. Like, that's not a lot of
time
for
a company that have never done multiplayer, that have never done this kind of architecture before.
Yep.
This will be interesting to see how much.
Well, they've got. You say never. They've got all the stuff from ESO. Like,
that's a very different game though. Like, it's still
like persistent online architecture. Like, You're right. It's an incredibly different thing, but it's still the idea's there.
Yeah, I suppose
it's a persistent online thing that has many players in it.
Yeah, I suppose you're right. You're right. So maybe
they could do that. It's new for this style of thing.
Forgive me for not having faith in that thing being fully working.
Yeah, totally. Right. I understand that.
And then they just kept going with new stuff. So Elder Scrolls Blades.
Yeah. A thing that
nobody
thought of or asked for, but it seems actually really cool.
So. It does actually. So they've got. It seems like kind of Skyrim Lite on your phone.
Yeah, it's like a weird first-person dungeon crawlery style thing. Yeah, like in the style of original Elder Scrolls.
Yes,
like old Elder Scrolls. It
kind of remind me of like Morrowind.
Yeah, and so you can do that first-person. There's character customization. But then you can come out of that and do like a town builder thing.
Yes.
And there's also an arena. It seems very big for a mobile game.
Yeah, it seems huge.
And they were talking about, he made a point of saying that you can play it portrait mode, which is actually kind of awesome. Yeah. Because then you're just doing it one-handed.
Totally.
But yeah, it's a weird thing. You can go and sign up for betas of that as well.
And then there are parts, so there's totally story stuff in there. There's town building. And also... Blades will be on everything. Like it'll be
they talked about the persistence of.
So it'll be on like mobile, it'll be on PC, it'll be in consoles, and it'll be in VR as well. Yeah. So the example they showed was like somebody could be waiting for a meeting to start playing Blades. No,
that's not what Todd Howard said. Todd Howard said in the middle of a meeting.
Sorry, in the middle of a meeting.
Because you don't get fired at Bethesda for playing video games in the middle of a meeting.
One-handed in a meeting.
Yeah.
With someone who is also in VR.
Yeah, it's going to be a weird one when you're talking about usability, because it's like that person, you're then fighting a person who's using their thumb versus someone who's got full body motion.
Or with someone.
Yeah, like I don't know how that works. Yep. It's a cool idea though.
Totally.
I like the idea of having a thing that is totally persistent.
Totally.
Which means that if they do the same thing for Elder Scrolls 6, which they talked about, and they do the thing that they did for Skyrim and said it's everywhere, they could do that and then have it go, and it all works, and you can can jump from doing it on your computer to your Switch to your whatever, which would be like fucking awesome.
I kind of like the idea of having a game like that you can play on your console.
I would legitimately, if they said that Elder Scrolls 6 is completely cross-compatible and carryable and stuff like that, I would buy 2 copies of it. Like I would buy a PC version and a Switch version, so I could go.
Did they say? Did they say if this is gonna this is a paid thing? Or
Blades, they said free.
Did they say free? Which means there's going to be microtransactions.
There'll be something there that you have to pay for, whether it's like building speed or whatever.
Yeah. The other thing they said, there's a mixture of proc gen and crafted stuff. So there's handcrafted story stuff in there, but there's also like proc gen.
There's an infinite dungeon that you can. Yeah.
And then there are two forward-looking things where they talked about.
Yeah. So the thing after Fallout, and then the thing after Fallout.
Yeah. So Starfield, which is their first new franchise in 25 years, it's Bethesda doing space.
It looks like space, yeah.
I mean, it is space. Like, we don't.
It looks like space. Like
there was like a minute's trailer where nothing happened.
Yeah, they showed the curvature of a planet and a satellite, and that was Starfield.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
Space Bethesda
thing.
And then they said that Elder Scrolls 6 exists.
Yes.
As a thing.
But that's the thing after the thing after.
It's the thing after
which makes
Starfield.
It sound like, especially because of the way Microsoft was talking, sounds like that's going to be the gen after this one.
Whatever generations mean anymore, but yes, like I'd be surprised if that's like... So that means one of two things. Either the next generation is happening sooner than we thought, or that those things are like 2021.
Yeah.
Like...
I would see Elder Scrolls 6 in like 2020, maybe 2021, but...
Yeah.
But yeah, their single player new Elder Scrolls game, great.
They said nothing. They showed a trailer that had a landmass in Elder Scrolls 6.
Generic,
and that was it.
The most generic of trailers, but they've said, hey, we're working on it. That's all I need is to know that those guys are doing it.
They're doing a thing.
Fine. You can take what you need. Just go off and
make
it.
I think they will. I don't think that's going to be a problem. And that was kind of it.
Yep.
So like I said, the stuff that we expected, but also extra stuff on
nice
top of it.
Little things that weren't quite expected, especially like that Wolfenstein thing was. I didn't expect that.
Was unexpected. Like I did not expect more.
It's only been out like less than a year,
and they've done their DLC pack.
Yeah.
So
and then there's this whole other spin-off thing.
I mean, it's cool that they have these established names and technologies that they can just build stuff on top of as well. Like they can take the Wolfenstein model, basically ad hoc, like as it was, and put new stuff into it.
Do a thing with it.
Which is cool. Yeah, that was Bethesda.
It's a good little conference.
We should probably also very, very briefly mention that we watched Devolver this morning.
Yeah,
because we forgot Devolver was happening.
People should watch the Devolver thing.
You should watch the Devolver
really
thing.
Good.
The games they announced, My Cousin Pedro, which is a game that everyone will probably have seen. Just if not by
it's
name.
that weird thing with the crazy jump flip shooting mechanics and like skateboards and stuff.
People should look that thing up.
Yep.
There
was also 2019 for that on Switch
2019.
and PC.
There was, what was the first one they showed?
I was going to say Metal Wolf Chaos, but that's not right.
The first thing was...
I don't remember.
Oh, God. I'm going to very quickly Google it.
The other thing that they talked about while Ewan lights that up is that they're remaking Metal Wolf Chaos.
Right, like...
The weird PS2...
No, Xbox.
Mech Vice President versus the President combat game. Right. That was bizarre. Terrible... voice acting, but brilliant at the same time.
Like weird cult classic thing that is actively
You've probably
bad.
heard the thing of the guy screaming Richard, like that's that game. And they're calling it Metal Wolf Chaos XD, which is funny.
Really funny name. And if you want more details, you can go to Mech America Great Again.
That's
like,
great.
Out of all of the games Devolver could possibly get for dumb reasons, this could not have been an easy thing to get your hands on, right?
No, it's super limited.
Because it's a I mean, like as a license, like it's a From Software game for original Xbox.
Is it Xbox?
Yeah.
Okay.
That nobody knows about.
No.
So
it's an incredibly cult thing.
Yeah. Remake of From Software's Metal Wolf Chaos, a game in which the President of the United States puts on a mech suit to defeat a coup.
Yeah.
It's like literally that trailer started with him bursting out of the Oval Office.
Yeah, he jumps out of the Oval Office in a mech. Yeah, it's pretty great. And launches off of Air Force One.
It's great. So the other thing they showed was Scum.
Yeah,
which was a
battle royale game,
like a survival battle royale style game.
Yeah,
they talked about Scum season 2. There was never a season 1.
Yeah, I think it's just the framework, but it's a cool idea. Yeah, the Devolver Conference is awesome. Seems to have the Devolver Conference of its own seems to have its own narrative now.
So they teased like to be continued next year.
Yeah, like it's great. It's such a cool thing.
There was a recurring character from last year.
Multiple recurring characters.
Yeah.
It's great.
Bizarre.
Great thing.
Yeah. So
next is Ubisoft.
Monday. Yeah. So we've got 4 today. Ubisoft.
Square Enix. PC Game Show
and Sony.
We may or may not do stuff for Square Enix and PC Game Show.
Yeah.
Square Enix might be too weird, and
Square Enix might not have enough interesting stuff.
It also might not have anything.
So
PC Game Show is really weird.
But we'll definitely be here for Ubi and
Ubi and Sony will get a thing.
We might cover the other 2 things in those videos if there's enough stuff
if something
to talk
interesting.
about. But yeah, we'll be back for Ubisoft in like
a few hours,
5 hours, 6 hours, something like that. See you then.
Bye.